So a few people asked if I could do a video about Isaac because I've been doing some videos about other heroes. People said I should probably do one about Isaac too. So let's talk about him. So Isaac, if you don't know, he was like the Winterfest 2021 hero. So it says, "Hey mages, behold my new invention. Walk up to see for yourself. I'm not a big fan of walking, you see. I prefer working out my brain and not my legs. My beloved little self-propelled vehicle, Teslin. You will get me anywhere and everywhere, spawning drones and spelling trouble for mages. I'm a damn genius." Yeah, really sad that he was kind of based on Elon Musk, which is aged very poorly. Aged very poorly, but what can you do? But yeah, he's a support control. He also has the engineer trait along with Fox and Ginger. Mostly useless, but we could talk about it. Agility. He's agility hero. He doesn't have a lot of health, but health is probably his most important attribute. So his ultimate here, what it does is each charge, he does not have energy. He's one of two heroes who does not have energy along with Astrid. He has something called charge instead. So heroes like Jorgen do nothing against him. But yes, as each attack charges Teslin up by 10%. When the charge reaches 100%, Isaac can activate her first ability. Teslin emits an electromagnetic impulse, silencing all enemies for 4 seconds. You're going to chance to apply the debuff slower, targets above level 130. So if you, this means it's vulnerable to level lowering attacks such as War Flag of Frost or Polaris. Then he has the MP 300 capacitor, which is Teslin's magic power capacitor, absorbs a portion of any magic damage taken by Isaac and his allies, transferring it into her charge. The amount of charge Teslin gains is 4 times the energy allies would have received taking that damage. So yeah, so this is pretty much a magic mitigation, but a passive magic mitigation buff for himself and for the team. It's not quite as strong as like Aurora's mitigation because it's only like 70%, whereas Aurora's like 85%, but he's also a very good magic mitigation, but he also gives some to his allies. So it's a bit, it's kind of like Faceless as a passive magic defense buff. This is better because it's outright mitigation, so magic penetration stuff is, or whatever, like will not matter. Like I said, it doesn't really care about any of that. So, and then there's Drone Swarm. This is what the engineer trait is for. So if Teslin's overdrive is activated more than once during a battle, she also spawns drones on all subsequent activations. The drones boost physical attack of all allies for 8 seconds. The boost is doubled for allied engineers. So if you happen to be using Isaac with Fox or Ginger, you shouldn't do that. There's really no reason to. But if you happen to be using Fox or Ginger with Isaac, they will get an attack boost from this. So it's not that big of a boost. It really isn't. It's pretty much an irrelevant ability. This is the only thing Engineer's tag does. Engineer tag completely irrelevant. I guess there's a buff in the Osh battles. Like I said, we're on the Maester right now, so I can't show it to you, but there's a Engineer thing. Again, if you use a line with Isaac, Fox, and Ginger, there's a buff you can buy for that. But because Isaac is super important for Osh, you would never do that, making that buff completely useless. So, but yeah. Engineer tag completely useless. That's literally the only reason it exists. So yeah, high voltage mode. This is where this pretty much lets his ult do damage on the 3rd activation. If it's activated more than twice. First 2 activations does not have this, but on the 3rd and later, he does AE physical damage. This is where he can start doing a lot of damage. This is what makes him good versus Osh the Eternal Keeper. Because this one where you heal will let him clear out the defense spheres that do magic damage. Like it is this skill right here that likes it along his ult that actually allows him to be so effective for Sosh the Eternal Keeper. And if you want a good score on Sosh, Isaac is essential for that. It is, like that's also really good versus certain magic teams. Keep in mind it is physical though, so certain heroes like Aurora can force dodges. Like said, if she has dodge buffs up, you might just miss a lot. So really, he has to land silence first before that. So yeah, that is kind of like the downside. Sometimes he can be really strong versus Aurora or mage teams in general, but sometimes Aurora can just dodge out of it. So yeah, there is that. But overall, he is very strong. Like he's made to life hard for twins. Like before Isaac was introduced, we were in Twins Winter. It was like freaking Twins Winter. I mean, it was that whole year. Introduction Sebastian. like pretty much we was just twins was the best team. Like everybody used the Trinity twins. Like it was the best team in the game. You would see like that was you'd see like probably like 11 out of 20 teams in a guild war was like the Trinity twins line, or like slight variations of. I mean, it was everywhere. And then Isaac came around, kind of knocked down a couple X. I mean, twins remained like still a great attacking team, and they recently buffed Krista, so twins is super good again. But never quite to their 2020 heyday. Like, twins will probably never quite be at that level. But yeah, Isaac very good against a lot of different magic teams. And then he has 4 skins. Armor penetration is the most important. Followed by physical attack, and actually probably agility, then physical attack. Magic defense is low priority. Doesn't really do much for you in a lot of situations. There are some situations where it's okay, but mostly, like so most enemies will have enough magic penetration. It's mostly irrelevant. It's mostly if you like the aesthetic of it, it can be fine. Some people, like I said, it's like Aurora's dodge skin. It's one of those things that really doesn't do anything. I mean, it's just like I said, it's just not gonna do much for you. So it's kind of like, yeah, it is there. It's more of a, like I said, I mean, there was the situation when it first came out where it could be useful. It's kind of like I said, it's kind of obsolete. There's a couple like niche situations. I can't even think of any reason where it might even matter at this point. There was, like I said, there were a couple of situations then, but mostly it's like Aurora's dodge, just like Aurora's armor skin. Mostly useless. I mean, you can unlock it to if you like the aesthetic or whatever, but I mean, it's just not, he doesn't have enough magic defense for it to ever really matter in a meaningful way. Like every hero like that has magic attack is probably doing enough. I mean, maybe except Aurora. Like Aurora probably doesn't have quite enough, but maybe against Aurora though. On the other hand, Aurora's like, there's other ways to buff. There's other ways to buff her penetration, like if you're using it with Orion, which is really common. Like one thing you might, that's what it is. It's against its Augustus. If he has a bit higher magic defense, it might be a bit harder for Aurora to actually do pure damage to Isaac, because Isaac cannot charge off pure damage. That's what it is. It's against Aurora and Augustus lines. If he, like I said, if he's taking pure damage, he doesn't charge. Like charge is based on magic damage, but Augustus can convert magic damage to pure damage. Aurora has, like if he has his magic defense skin, he will have more magic defense than Aurora's penetration. So he'll will keep Aurora from being able to do like to overpower his magic defense. So long as there's not an actual penetration buff up on that side of the team, he can prevent the pure damage, so he can actually still get charge off Aurora's ults, which can be relevant. Like that's irrelevant interaction. That's what it is. I'm like, it took me a minute. Oh yeah, that's what it is. So yeah, that's the interaction. So you might want to, but a lot of people think it's not really worth doing. So definitely low priority. It's a choice if you want to or not. Same thing with his glyphs. Health is by far the most important stat for him, because health is how, like, that is what determines his charge rate. With this one, it's based on his health. So the more health Isaac has, the better his charge. So health, obviously, the most important glyph, that is highest priority, followed by, I'd say, agility, attack, armor, then again, magic defense. We just talked about it. There are a couple of niche interactions. It won't help you against most fights. Main reason you might want to do this is against like Aurora, Augustus lines, to try to prevent taking pure damage. There are certain situations where it might slow down your charge, but again, for the most part, it's just not going to really make much of a difference. It's very low priority, so... artifacts, he buffs armor penetration. This is actually super good against Ash the Eternal Keeper, and just in general, armor penetration buff, always useful. And then he also gets armor penetration, physical attack from his folio, and then of course he's agility, so he gets agility there. And ascension, he is a agility, or he pretty much has normals, like pretty much marksman type stuff. He's a control support, but he's agility, so armor pen, some health, like he looks pretty, like I said, his scene's very similar to like all the marksmen and stuff you would probably see, so nothing too special. And of course he's support, which is probably the best branch. Like for most people, this is the first branch you will develop because this is one, the branch Sebastian's on. It's also the branch Isaac's on. Nebula's here. Those 3 heroes are all key for Osh, but I mean, just by virtue of Sebastian being here, this is one of the most important branch, generally considered the most important branch. Most people can do this one first. So yeah, him being on support branch means he's going to benefit from this. So that's good. But yeah, fully maxed out. My Isaac is fully maxed out. We have literally maxed out everything on him. So his fully maxed out stats are 2620 intelligence, 1820, 270 agility, which is actually really high. A lot of heroes don't get that high on their main stat. Does it? Maybe no. So maybe it is high. Maybe it isn't that high. I was thinking it's like, I think it's some heroes are more like 16, 17. Maybe they're all 18 these days. But yeah, that's actually said. Yeah, I guess it's about average. So, but yeah, 3260 strength. Health is only 439. K, but you can use all of our patron. Like so we'll talk about his patron exhibit, and he gets 104k attack, 100k magic attack, but that's irrelevant for him. 34k armor, 29k magic defense, and 40k armor pen. Plus he buffs armor pen. So, you know, pretty good. Like I said, he is just really good versus mages. And yeah, so let's go talk about his patrons. He has just 3, if I read, unless I'm misremembering, but he has Sebastian, Axel, and Mara. You're most likely either going to be using Oliver or Mara. Mara can allow his silence to land for 3 times as long. 4-second silence is pretty good, but landing a 12-second silence is 3 times. So be a 12-second silence. Some teams doing 12-second silence is GG. I mean, against a lot of mage teams, they will absolutely roll over to a 12-second silence. So Mara is, I think, really underrated on Isaac because just locking them out of the game. I mean, it's GG. Like literally the first video I ever did on YouTube was to show off Mara patron on Thea, who has the silence ability, and it was like 9 seconds of silence. And yeah, against certain teams, like if you can land a long duration silence from like Thea or Isaac, you will just straight up win by that alone because they can't do anything if they're silenced. So yeah, so let's go do some fights with Isaac here. So here's a good mage team. So they have but they also have Augustus. So you do need to have Sebastian. But let's do like a Stone Cold type of setup with the those are really popular here. You could do Jew. Like this is kind of like we call Stone Cold. This is a popular lineup called Stone Cold. This is kind of like what you have. The traditional Stone Cold lineup is with Martha here. This is what they call this, a line that some people call Stone Cold. Like I said, I didn't name it. This is a line people were calling this line before I even learned about it. So we just go, so that's Stone Cold. This is what you would use for Ash the Eternal Keeper. And yeah, so but I usually for PvP fights, I usually use Thea over Martha. And that's because we're using Jew. And that I think like Thea is just a better healer than Martha in general, but War Flag of Vanguard could be good. War Flag of Frost could be good if you're trying to land silence against like a Sebastian. They are not using Sebastian though, so which means we're actually going to use Mara patron. So we can just use Vanguard for a bit of healing here. And yeah, so let's do this here. Lara Croft's also good instead of Jew, but which is what a lot of people use now instead of Jew, but not everyone has access to Lara Croft, so. Okay. Oh, well, but see, they are silenced. They got that 12-second silence on. Look, they are just rolling over. They can't do anything. That 12-second silence won the game, even though Isaac died without the Oliver patron. He got 12-second silence off, and that was GG. You don't really need to ult. You only needed to ult once. You don't need to spam ults. People like you need to use Oliver to spam ults. I mean, if you can land 12-second silence, you win. Like if Isaac lands 12-second silence, you win. This is one thing people don't understand. Like Mara patron is super good on Isaac, super underrated. Like it is. A lot of people make the mistake thinking it's useless. Like, well, she raises magic defense. Like I know, as I said, like it doesn't. Raises magic defense isn't that critical because most heroes that matter will be able to have enough penetration to overpower it anyway. And for like the few cases like Aurora where it could matter, there's also, again, Augustus is the thing. There might be reasons you still want to do it anyway. So yeah, like, and this is Celeste again. We are just, they don't have Sebastian. Why would we bother? If they don't have Sebastian, let's just go with silence. There you go. They are silenced. They are not going to be able to do anything here. Silence, that's fine. He got his second ult off. They are silenced for like 12 seconds. Yep, okay. Not quite fast enough. But yeah, 12 seconds is pretty good. There you go. Yep, we got enough time for Ju to start going off. And then Thea's also has more silence, so... Oh no, we lost to Arachne, come on. Oh, there you go. And this is why we put Thea with Ju. See that spinny thing? That is Thea's passive. It is an SOS haste. So long as, like I said, it works even after Thea's dead, so long as Ju is below 30%, he gets that extra attack speed, which helps him keep his ult up. Like, so Thea Ju is just kind of like a good combo. Oh, Serenity fell off. Yeah, didn't quite win, but like I said, we could probably beat that one by switching Ju for Lara Croft, which is probably what a lot of teams would use these days, but we're just sticking with the traditional Stone Cold there, but let's go show with Lara Croft on that line. It was Victa, so let's do Lara. Lara, and again, we'll stick with Mara here. It's fine. Yeah, Isaac has pretty low health. It's the other reason you might want him for Oliver when you're trying to use him at the front line, but 12-second silence is just brutal, guys. There you go. Boom. Yep, see, Lara Croft. Lara Croft got the win. But yeah, like, so that's what you would get with, like, using that. Like, so you don't necessarily have to put Isaac up front. Like, a lot of times people use Isaac as a pseudo tank just because you get to charge fast, especially against, like, heroes like Celeste who have, like, high single target magic damage against the front like that. He can charge pretty fast, which lets you get an early silence off. Again, like I said, I guess feel like against a lot of these teams, I feel like Mara is better just because 12 seconds silence will absolutely wreck face. But we can't, like I said, if we lose here, I can show you what Oliver does too. We'll do some fights with Oliver too, but you know, just being able to keep that 12-second silence up, it's just so good, man. Like, people don't understand. Like, look at this. They can't do anything. We just silence locked them and we just won. They literally couldn't do anything. Like, they were able to help charge Isaac, and then they rolled over. And Isaac actually did a bunch of damage because he actually got a third ult off. So that's what you can do with Isaac there. So yeah, let's go do some with, like, Oliver now. Need to find some Meiji teams, though. Need a Meiji team. Meiji team. Where's my Meiji teams? Oh, here you go. Okay, let's do something like this, and then you can put Mara on Lara Croft, which is actually pretty good too, because it's a 6-second stun. Can be pretty good, so let's try this. They do have Dante. Can be a problem. We probably should have switched our pet to Kayn. Because, yep, that's why I should have switched to Kayn. Because Axel doesn't do anything. The first, yeah, we got absolutely wrecked by that. So who was that? ZZ Dong. Okay, ZZ Dong, where are you? Okay, let's do this here. Yeah, against Dante front, usually Kayn's a better one. This could also be a place where we could use Aurora as our tank, or use Lyria as a tank. Like, there's options here. Okay, there you go. Silence, silence. Ha! Hush you. There you go. Kayn for the win. Give us some dodge. Because Kayn's passive, dodge passive works from the moment the battle starts. It is a passive. So he works immediately to mitigate damage, whereas, like, Axel does nothing for the first 15 seconds. So we fared quite a bit better by just having Virtue of Kayn, but we still lose because, yeah, we lost most of our heroes. But that's what you can get. We might have won if we had actually used Mara Patron there, which is probably a good example of just, like, why Mara is actually good, guys. Mara's good on Isaac. Let's try this again. Up. Isaac died. Yeah, we need to use, like, an actual, like, tank, or use, like, Lyria or Mar. Well, we can let's do Aurora first, just to kind of, because we did Aurora video last night. I think it was last night, something like that. So we're going to drop that. We're going to put in Aurora here. Especially if Isaac's not up front, you can definitely go with Mara most of the time. I still like Kane against Dante. Okay. Dang it, still didn't get it. Okay, let's try Lyria. Let's try Lyria with Axel. No, actually, Axel's still bad. Axel's still bad versus Dante. Yeah, nah, we'll stick with that. You could do Chorus, but I don't see where Chorus is going to help us here. So let's do Lyria. Let's try Lyria. Some of it's just you doing the dodges. I guess some of it's just Orion is just that good. Well, it didn't even really matter. Like, there you go. And this is where Lyria is good. That's why I said, like, Lyria is super good versus Dante. Like, Dante and Aurora, like, Lyria's pretty good. Lyria's not a good damage dealer like Aurora is. I mean, but it just really depends. Like, a lot of times you probably win. I probably win that fight with Aurora too, but just she didn't get the good dodge roll, so. Or we didn't have Odis Ranico off or something. I think because we used a different war flag without strength in it or something, that might have been the issue. What's on my Vanguard flag? Physical? It does have physical. Maybe it just wasn't strong. Oh. Or maybe I used the wrong... No, we had... I don't know what you're using. It don't matter. I think Aurora might actually got stunned, which might have what screwed us there. But... Okay. Any other Meiji teams to look at? Not seeing them. Meiji! The great mage. Come on. That's the downside, is that he's mostly only good versus mages. I mean, it's non-magic heroes, he's just not as relevant. I mean, pretty much everything he does, he can't charge his ults without magic damage. So if they don't do magic damage, he is pretty lackluster. So he's more of a counter hero, but you do need him for Ashe Eternal Keeper, so he's still a must develop for that reason alone. So it's good to know where else you can use him, because you're going to be investing in him regardless. Gosh, I still think there's any more Meiji teams. So here's a good example. They do have Amira, so we can try that. Maybe we'll get a bit of magic damage here. This is a good example of where Isaac is just not that impressive. Yep, Isaac literally doing nothing for us there. So, yeah, that's where Isaac is weak. But, yeah, so that's Isaac. Like, actually, said you need him for Ashe Eternal Keeper. Like, he is a must-have for that. Like, you absolutely need him for that. These days, Lara Croft's probably more important than Ju for a lot of these, like, for the Ashe Eternal Keeper fight. But not everyone has Lara, so... Ju is still very good, and if you want to know more about like the Stone Cold team and stuff and like how to use it against like Ashe Eternal Keeper, I recommend checking out the video down below. As always, thank you for watching.